Team to beat in the NFC North? Is that fact or fiction?
Damn straight they're the team to beat. They got back on track. Daddy was drinking that yak, even though it was bittersweet for me watching them beat up on my Ravens. But it's all good, though. They're back, and I think their golf showed that he is an elite quarterback.
Our analytics actually now have them as the favorite to come out of the NFC, period. Mike T, if someone said Cam Ward is going to get his first win against Houston this weekend after Brian Callahan relinquished play calling duties, is that fact or fiction?
That's fiction. Cam Ward's going to be good one day, but right now he's getting sacked more than any other starting quarterback, 15 times. What's one thing Houston can do? They can sack the quarterback. This is a terrible matchup for Cam Ward and Tennessee. This is a get-right week for the Texans.
And then finally, a battle of unbeatens in the NFC. The Eagles are a 3.5-point road favorite at Tampa. Peter, if I said the Eagles are on upset alert, fact or fiction?
Absolutely fact. Tampa's gotten their number the last two times they've played. They have beaten them the last two times, whereas the rest of these NFC teams quiver in fear about the Eagles. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers do not. They look them right in the eye and say, well, we've gotten the best of you the last two times. This game's in Tampa. It's going to be 95 degrees. I'd like Tampa Bay to have not only a shot in this one, maybe pull off the upset.
So I will take you all behind the scenes into our meeting. We keep bringing up the Heat, and Bart keeps you are enraged at the talk of the Heat. You don't think it matters.
We're professional athletes. Nobody care about the heat. You act like it's the winter time up here. It's still hot up here. It was 81 degrees here. I'm sorry, did anybody die from the Jets last week?
Well,
they all made it, right?
Their playoff hopes died, but
well,
that's
that is
a whole
true.
other conversation.
But it was never allowed to begin with.
Dead on
I'll
arrival.
say this, though. It's 95 degrees. They've had struggles with that weather the last two times. They're traveling tonight on a Friday to go for a Sunday game. That is unheard of in the NFL. Usually you leave the day before. In this case, they wanted to get used to the heat.
That's because Tampa got the good strip club, so they just make sure they fly in game.
Also a fair point. Also a fair point.
It's not the Heat that they should be worried about.
You know.
Yeah.
Harry pleading the fifth. Go ahead, Mike T.
Here's what they should be worried about. I almost thought this was a typo. The Philadelphia Eagles are averaging 50 passing yards in the first half. I promise you, Tampa Bay is going to get the lead, and unlike what happened last week, they will run the ball relentlessly in the second half and play keep away. They will not let Philadelphia get back in the game. The slow starts of the Eagles is what's really hurting them.
Let me ask Harry, all kidding aside, do the Eagles have a Saquon Barkley problem? His numbers, last year he had, you could argue, the greatest season any running back has ever had, or darn close to it. This year, it hasn't looked anything like it. What's going on?
Well, you also have to take into consideration that a lot of teams understand that the Eagles are going to run the football. So they're going to put 9 guys, 8 guys in the box to try to stop the run. That's why I feel like offensive coordinator Kevin Patullo, you have to open things up a lot more with the A.J. Brown, who I believe is a top 3 receiver in the league, and also a Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, get him a lot more involved. Goedert had 1 catch last week, and guess what? That 1 catch was for a touchdown.
Right.
Yeah. Get your tight end more involved. So I think the more the pass game opens up, Saquon Barkley is going to have more lanes and avenues to be able to rush through and be effective as well.
And Saquon Barkley has played more football last year than he ever played in his career. He had 345 rush attempts. He had 43 receptions. So that's almost 400 yards of being touches of being hit. The Philadelphia Eagles understand this. There's more film out there about how they like to run the football. They're trying to make them one-dimensional, take something away. You look at the last time DeMarco Murray had 392 yards. The next year, it's never going to be the same.
92 carries, right?
Yeah, carries.
92 touches. That's what I'm trying to ask you, I guess, is, are you telling me he got hit so much last year, which is obviously a critical stat? Does that mean they're sort of resting him a little bit or breaking him in slowly, or does it mean that he's worn down?
I think they're breaking him in slowly because they want to make sure that they have prime Saquon Barkley for multiple years, not just for one great year.
This is not a good matchup for them. When you look at Tampa Bay's defense, they only give up 3.6 yards per rush, which is 6th best. That's a big emphasis for Tampa Bay, the way they've built this team. So Barkley will get right. I just don't think it's this week.
Cindy, let's put the picks on the screen. This is an interesting game. I was going to call it a sneaky interesting game. Frankly, there's nothing sneaky about it. These are 2 3-0 teams. The Buccaneers are 4-time defending division champions. So we'll keep a close eye on that one as we roll on this Football Friday. But as I mentioned, it is also by far the best college weekend of the season so far. It starts tonight. Mike T will be there. Florida State and Virginia.
UVA,
off
baby.
on ESPN. And then Saturday's SEC on ABC lineup includes Notre Dame, Arkansas, LSU, Ole Miss, and then the big one, Alabama and Georgia. And with that extraordinary slate ahead of us, we are delighted to bring you the return of Flying Feinbaum. There is nothing better than Sir Paul in an airport. He is on his way to Athens for Bama, Georgia. Georgia's a 2.5-point favorite Let's talk about this. It's an enormous game for both teams. First and foremost, who do you like to win?
Play Georgia, and there are a lot of reasons for that, but I think they just look a little bit more complete right now. Alabama has been fantastic in the last two games, but they were so bad in that opening game, and Georgia has been very consistent. They haven't been spectacular, Greeny. They nearly let the Tennessee game get away, but the fact that they didn't tells me a win at home seems to be in the cards.
Let me give everyone a sense of just how critically important this game is, particularly for the Crimson Tide. Look at this. If Alabama wins, let me show you the numbers here. If Alabama wins, their playoff chances jump to 68%. A loss would drop them all the way to 36%. So for Alabama, what can we say? Their season is essentially on the line. Paul, what is at stake for Kalen DeBoer in this game?
Everything. Remember last year, he did not make the playoffs, and it seemed like this season was playoff or bust, and here we are. We're not even through September, and those odds are not good for him. The problem with losing this game, Greeny, is the schedule ahead. He still has an enormous slate, including Tennessee and LSU and Oklahoma and at Missouri and at South Carolina and at Auburn. It almost seems if he cannot win this game, remember he won this game last year after jumping out to a 28-0 lead, it would just seem to be insurmountable that he could find his way back. And he has to get to the playoffs to have a reasonably calm offseason.
It's remarkable when you think about all that has changed since that night. I remember that game. Alabama wins it, and we're thinking Jalen Milroe is going to be the first pick, and Alabama's looking great, and then obviously things have gone sideways from there. Next game, we're going to stay in the SEC. LSU, Ole Miss, extraordinarily important game for both sides. Who do you like to win?
I like the home team, Ole Miss, and this is such a narrow game, but to me, that home field matters. The Ole Miss situation is interesting. Austin Simmons was the quarterback. Everyone thought he was a good replacement for Jason Dart, but here comes Trinidad Chambliss after an injury, and Lane Kiffin is very difficult to beat at home.
I want to show you that graphic that we did on the other game. Again, in this one, look at that number, the purple number on the right. Wow. If LSU loses this game, their chance of making the playoff falls to 22%. How would you describe what's at stake here for Brian Kelly, Paul?
A great deal. I talked to him this week, and he scoffed when I mentioned, hey, what about that Clemson game? We all thought it was so great. Now it's not so great with Clemson having 3 losses. They beat Florida, but Florida has 3 losses. So that's really the issue here. I still think they're a very good team. Nussmeier has been banged up a little bit. He has not been looking like the #1 pick. But Brian Kelly also needs to get to the playoffs this season. And this loss would really complicate it. It wouldn't end it, though, because it would only be the first loss.
Okay, and then one more. Let's go to the Big Ten for an enormous game. Also Saturday night, primetime, whiteout game at Happy Valley, Oregon and Penn State. Paul, who do you like?
I like Penn State, and that is a switch because have you heard, Greeny, that James Franklin isn't very good in big games? I know that might be breaking news up there where you live, but that is the reality. Drew Aller has not played that well in these big games. Remember last year in the Orange Bowl, they had a 10-point lead against Notre Dame. They let it slip away, and James Franklin has been pointing toward this game. Their preseason slate was so weak that we really haven't paid much attention to them. But the good news for Penn State, even with a loss, they still have a path, although not a great one because Ohio State looms large ahead, especially with a loss here.
Yeah, the graphic, the All-State playoff predictor suggests this is a monster game for Penn State. You see their chances of making it just 23%.